Hello, family, and welcome to Dwell According to Knowledge, the talk show. I am your host and your coach, Trey. And our topic and our lesson for today is how to stop falling for Mr. Wrong. yeah, uh, that one used to, that was all of when I coach single ladies and I do seminars and the workshops and singles ministries. This is the this is one of my biggest questions. I guess you could say it's a question or one of my biggest statements. Tracy, how do I stop falling for Mr. Wrong? And my question is always the same, and my answer is always the same as well. So it's more so, well, did you recognize Mr. Wrong when you met him? Okay, because we're all under the guise of what a young lady told me one day was when we meet you guys, we first introduce you to what she calls the representative, and then later on, if we find out that like you're worth you're worth the time, you're worth the effort, you're worth the wait, then we'll put forth some effort in that area as well. But for the most part, say for instance, if you're the one that does the introductions, if you're the one that makes the first move, if you're the one that steps over the line first, then chances are we're not going to be like, making a whole lot of effort because you just made it easier for us, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of pointers. I'm going to give you, well, let me put it this way. In order to stop falling for Mr. Wrong, let's recognize him first, okay? So I'm going to give you maybe like 4, maybe 5, 6 things to look out for when you're out there and you want to fall, when you want to fall for the right man, not for the wrong. Okay. All right. Number 1 is, this is the guy you need to look out for as while you're out there. And I'm gonna just tell you, the Mr. Let's Get Physical guy. This is a guy, he's just as obvious as he can possibly do because all he talks about is doing stuff that's physical, okay? He doesn't want anything to do with the emotional side of the relationship. It's all about how quick he can, get to the end. So let's make sure that, when we recognizing Mr. Wrong, that this is one of the ways that we recognize Mr. Wrong. He's not going to be trying to get to know who you are or any of that stuff. He is only going to be trying to get to know, the physical part of, especially what he sees. And of course, he's going to be looking for the same thing when you make the first move. Okay, it's not, the Bible speaks, he who findeth. He doesn't speak, she who does this, that, and the other. I'm sorry, it just doesn't say that way. So my advice is, as you identify him, his advances are so obvious. And I just said it, he's fixated. So let's not get stuck in the physical part of that thing and just break away quick, okay? Number 2, Mr. Keep my options open. This is the guy, he wants to make you comfortable, but he also wants to, have his irons, the irons in different fireplaces, you know what I mean, so to speak. So, he doesn't, this is the guy who will pretty much tell you flat out, and if you continue to, be okay with that, later on down the line, you're not going to be able to come back and say, you want this, you want that, you want the other, because the first thing that's going to pop out of his mouth is, well, I told you in the beginning, that I wanted to keep my options open. So you said you were okay with it. So that cuts out all, that pretty much, that just cuts it, cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? So, with him wanting all of his options open like that, and you're saying okay, then a lot of times you set yourself up. Okay, so my advice to you is make sure that you're building a healthy relationship, and not one that's going to bog you down with someone who wants to, so much, so to speak, fly, wherever he wants to go, whatever he wants to do, and whoever he wants to do it with. Okay, leave him alone, because he'll string you along, and next thing you know, you're back in singles ministries, you're back in church, you're back in whatever it is that you're doing, boo-hooing and crying and things like that, maybe because you got caught up. Okay, number 3, Mr. Hot and Cold. This guy only likes it when it suits him. Okay, he calls you whenever he feels like he wants something from you, needs something from you. He only want to be bothered on his terms, not yours. Okay, so don't get caught up into that one, thinking that later on down the line you're going to be able to change that. You're going to be able to change him. You're going to be able to do anything that's going to make this guy shift his thinking to anything other than what he wants, especially if he's doing that and you're allowing it. Okay, know your worth and don't get caught up in that. Okay, my advice: only if he is focused on one person at a time. You is the only way that you're going to be able to build a healthy foundation, a healthy relationship. So make sure that if he says, "I like to keep my options open," you just let him know, "Hey, you can go do that elsewhere." Okay. Number 4, the proverbial "I'm not that into you." This is what I was just telling you in the other one, how you make the first move. We as guys, we become flattered by that, but we also become open to the fact that this could be like an open relationship. You know what I mean? Just a way to, get into the physical part of it and kind of stay into the physical part, because you're the one that that made the first move. So you only, and I'm going to tell you just like this, you really only want guys that make a move towards you first. He's the one that comes, taps you on your shoulder. "Hi, my name is, I see what I like," or very interested in getting to know you. That kind of stuff. When, more so like that, more than it is, you coming and he going and saying, "Oh God, okay, well, yeah, well, what's up? How you doing?" And that kind of stuff. When the whole thing in the back of his mind is, it's going to be all about the physical. Okay. So keep it simple. Let him come to you. Okay? All right. Number 5 is Mr. I don't want to grow up. This is the childish dude. This is the immature guy. This is the guy that rolls around on the floor, biting, kicking, screaming, scratching, yelling, that kind of stuff. This is the kind of guy that wants you to take care of him, the kind of guy that wants you to, spend all the money, pay all the bills, give him money, that kind of stuff. You don't want this guy. And what's so addictive about him is that he's the one that's going to come in and make you feel important, especially if you have like low self-esteem issues. And I'm talking to my BBWs right now, my big beautiful women. A lot of you all get caught up into that kind of stuff. So when you see this guy, you need to leave him alone, because at first, while you're prepping, you got to get to know who you are. Okay, so it's mostly emotionally, physically, and financial. It'll be a ruin to you when you do that. Okay, so you want to stay away from that, because once he dumps you, which is exactly just going to happen, you're going to be left holding the bill. Okay, you're going to be left holding the bill. Okay, 6th and final one, and of course, is Mr. Liar. Lying about everything except for the representative. Now that's true. The representative is true. So when he introduces himself and he's introducing the first guy, he's not gonna let you see the second guy for a while. And this is what I mean when I talk about how it's been played so good, so many times that he becomes good at lying, you know, and you usually never catch that until later on down the line. You know what I mean? Because he's lying to a whole bunch of it. So you got to keep your eyes open. You got to keep your ears and your eyes open to this guy, so that if he gets a chance, he trips up, you're able to catch him in the lie. And don't you know? Because if you catch the first lie, you'll catch others. Okay. Leave this guy alone, because if he's lying to you right in the beginning, of course he's going to be lying to you in the middle, and definitely at the end. Okay. When all of these things are happening, you can see the habit. You can see the things that the lie that piles up one after another, and a lot of you get caught up into that because, again, you may be in a low self-esteem mode, or you may be in that mode where I can't get anybody. But don't let that stop you. Okay, it's better to be by yourself, healed and whole, than to be with somebody that's lying to you all the time, making you feel worse. Okay? I hope you all got something out of that. This is Trey. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.